Some time now to reflect on the season. Obviously, you guys accomplished a lot this year, and what UConn did kind of showed well for the conference as well. Just kind of your thoughts on when you've had a chance to look back at the season, just how successful it was.
Oh, well, this was a special year. You know, I'm too young to retire, and I got responsibilities, but I can tell you that if you're ever going to retire, this would have been the team to do it with. I mean that sincerely. I mean, it was that type of team where you knew you were getting every ounce that these guys had in them every night. To go on a 15-game winning streak in the meat of your schedule, December and January, is really unheard of. I think only two teams did it this year that I know of at the high major level, Florida and Cincinnati. Just a special group of guys that just gave me everything they had. And as a coach, we all talk about just kids trying to give their best. And hey, that's all I really want. You can't win them all. This team embodied that. They gave me everything they had up until the last buzzer sounded. And unfortunately, it didn't end the way we wanted to. But it really only ends the way one team wants it to in college basketball.
Obviously, a good chance to celebrate your seniors one last time, too.
Oh, yeah, we're going to have a lot of fun tonight. Obviously, get a chance to give a lot of praise to the seniors and to all the guys. We had some young guys come in that were used to being the man where they're from in the high school world, and they had to kind of acquiesce to the older guys that really dominated this team, and then turn around also and embrace what SK was doing as an individual, as a team. The guys all embraced that, and as a young guy that then realized, hey, this is harder than I thought it was going to be, and to try to pay attention and learn from the other guys. So. Great celebration for us tonight. We had a tremendous season. Couldn't ask for anything more other than obviously a different result against Harvard and a chance to be able to coach the guys again. And it was an abrupt ending, but it was a tremendous season.
Obviously, UConn winning the national championship. What does that do for you guys, especially in the conference?
Well, the national champions come out of our conference 3 of the last 4 years, so we're kind of used to that. We've been playing a tremendous schedule, maybe despite what some people say or think, for a while. All you have to do is go look at schedules from the 80s and 90s. And Cincinnati wasn't playing in the conference of 3 of the last 4 national champions. So, I think a couple things. One, it gives you credibility in recruiting, and I'm always worried about that. That always helps. And then two, hopefully it shows your players, hey, there's a team we know. Every time we play them, it's a 2-3 point dogfight, and so hopefully it motivates your younger guys that they see somebody that they know they've beaten and they can beat, that's cutting the nets down, and hopefully they can use that as motivation.
And obviously, just looking ahead now, obviously with the seniors leaving, where does this program stand as you move forward?
Well, right now we're in a recruiting phase and focusing on academics. We get out awfully early this year. I wish we'd have got out this early when I was a student. Walking around Clifton, last day of class on, I believe, the 18th of April. So we're trying to focus on our finals right now. We've had a little bit of spring workouts, but really haven't a lot of time for that. Going to the Bahamas this summer in August, so we'll have 10 days of practice, and it's going to be imperative that we finish up recruiting here the right way. We got 2 opportunities to fill scholarships, so there's a lot of movement in college basketball world right now. I like the waiver wire. I'm all for changing our rules to where it's not like it is in the spring, but last year we didn't have any available, and we probably missed out on some great players that we could have gotten. So right now it's stay alert and see who's available.
Going back, obviously the 2012 Kentucky team was loaded with incredible talent, but the last 2 champions are teams that aren't NBA-laden teams. They have some guys, but does that kind of energize, do you think, programs that don't have all one-and-dones, that you can win a championship, you can do special things in March?
I think what you saw this year and last year are really the norm going forward. There's going to be very few super teams. So if a team's that talented, they're going to be too young to dominate. They may be young enough to win it. Kentucky almost did this year, but they're going to be too young to dominate. All the chips are going to have to fall for perfectly for a team to have all the talent and enough experience. So I think it's just wide open. It's why the tournament's so great. It's why it was so hard for us to swallow because when we lost it to Harvard, because we knew we were capable of playing on Monday night. I thought there were a lot of teams that were capable of playing on Monday night. And I think if you reshuffled it, anything could happen. I mean, Connecticut trailed for 39 minutes of their opening round game. So no doubt, I think parity's here in college basketball, and it's probably here to stay for a long time. Now, if they change the one and done rule and they move it to 2, it'll be interesting to see how that affects things, because then you would have a team like Kentucky having all those guys coming back for the second year.
Hey, your contract came up at the end of the year, and you said there was nothing on the table, nothing signed, no document in front of you. Any more talks in between then and now? Anything closer to anything like that coming up?
When it comes to my status at Cincinnati, I have the same answer. You know, it's a tremendous honor for me to be the coach, a professional honor of my lifetime, to be the coach at Cincinnati, and I'll sign on for as many years that are put in front of me. So if that's put in front of me officially, that's not like I'm going to turn it down. I make no secret about where I'd love to be, but I also obviously have hopes and dreams for our program and facility upgrades and some focus shifting from our administration on doing things for the men's basketball, and which will in turn generate revenue for our entire department and allowing us to compete with what's going on around us.
How much do you think being around the older guys, SK and those guys, helped this freshman crop to kind of carry on that legacy of what they came through?
Well, you hope it does. I think you have to ask them. You know, I still, you would like to have guys understudying around veteran guys for at least a 2-year period. But I think if they didn't learn from SK's approach, I don't know what I can teach them. And that's the best teacher, to be able to have peer teaching in the locker room. SK's approach and Justin and Titus's competitive nature. Those two things are unparalleled. You know, SK has veteran NBA habits, and hopefully that's going to land him in the NBA with his preparation and his mental focus, his commitment to his development. And Justin and Titus are the two most competitive guys in college basketball, which you have to be to have success. You have to have both to become the player that young guys want to become. So they hopefully they learn from it, and they need to absorb it, because obviously those guys aren't here anymore. So osmosis, though, it doesn't always work the way you want it to.
You said for a while that Sean's an NBA player. What are your hopes for him on draft night as it gets closer?
Well, I think it's too early right now. You know, what works against Sean is why he was so great. He's older, and that obviously that's never a strength. When you have NBA teams that are drafting players for 2-3 years down the road in hopes of having a superstar, Sean Kilpatrick needs a team that wants Sean Kilpatrick, a winner, somebody to come in and be able to be a solid guard for them, make shots, play winning basketball, a team that's ready to win, a playoff team. I don't think he'll be attractive probably to some of the teams that are looking at lotteries and rebuilding. The NBA is a very interesting dynamic. It's so far in a way different than the other pro sports. Some teams are so resigned to the fact that they're going to lose for a 2 to 3 year period. So therefore, they're just looking to take small contracts and potential. And he's not going to fit that profile. He needs to be on a team that's trying to win and win next year. And I think whatever coach gets him is going to be happy, because he's going to get a veteran on a rookie salary.
When you look at next year's roster, is there one guy you point at and say, we've got a chance to be really good if this guy develops at a rate that some of the other guys have late in their careers?
No, I don't look at it that way. And I don't believe in putting that type of pressure on one guy. And in this day and age, you make one statement about, hey, it's really big that, you know, so-and-so develops, and then somebody else's uncle or mom read it and hear it, and they say, well, he didn't mention my son. Well, yeah, I did. You just edited it. So I try to stay away from all that. People get so caught up in that. We need everybody to improve, and it's my hope that everybody averages double figures next year, and then it'll be a great year for the Bearcats. Realistically, that's not the case.
It's 130 a game.
Yeah, you would hope. Well, right now it's 110 a game. Yeah, we get 2 scholarships. So, yeah, you know, I think we got a lot of guys that have a chance to step forward without question. and I'm confident that they'll do that. And I think that's where the Bahamas trip will help us in August, get the extra practice. And we signed a great class, and hopefully we're going to be able to add to it here in April.